Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the final video from my Mexico City trip. In this one, we'll be visiting the neighborhood of Polanco, where we'll first be seeing one of my favorite galleries, Proyectos Monclova, and then we'll head over to Museo Jumex. This is an exhibit by Tercerunquinto, which in English translates roughly to a third of a fifth. So they're a collective project formed in 1996 by the Mexican artist Julio Castro Carrion, Gabriel Cazares Salas, and Rolando Flores Tovar. In general, the collective is interested in transformation and the residues that transformation can leave behind. For this exhibit, titled From Our Own Height, they're specifically inspired by the transformation caused by natural disasters. So they focused on earthquakes because of their prevalence in their home country of Mexico. And in the last 40 years, there have been about 2 major earthquakes in Mexico where thousands of people have died or been injured. So the artists from the collective collected materials from the more recent earthquakes and created a catalog of these residual materials. And with these materials, they created 3 series of works, which we see in this show, all inspired by the earthquakes that coincidentally both happened on September 19th, 32 years apart. This work is a part of their Ephemerides series, and it's composed of discarded pieces of wood and other diverse reclaimed metals. So the pattern we see is made from overlapping the celestial maps of the days the earthquakes happened in 1985, 2017, and 2022, which is meant to be an invitation to us, quote, as the viewer, to contemplate the beauty that arises from a grim date. On the wall is a series called terrazzi, which is named after a technique used to make floors. So each piece is made up of materials from mostly the 2017 earthquake, and it is a map of a piece of architecture that no longer exists. So when talking about this series in the show, Georgina C.B. states, quote, "In a city that tends to rush to sweep away the rubble so it can replace the buildings that have fallen down, terrazzi mix together remains of concrete, stone, brass, and mosaic tiles and offer a reminder, pointing out a ruin." The final series is titled Anagrams, and it's inspired by the text installed in the floors in public spaces. So here they've combined various phrases and metal on the wall to be a, quote, constellation of small poems, creating new meaning by this reorganization. Overall, this show is really observing our scale as humans, especially against the greater wills of nature and the universe. And as the artists say, quote, "We situation ourselves as individuals who are totally subject to the behavior of forces that transcend us by far." Upstairs is a separate exhibit by the Mexican artist Noe Martínez. And the show is deeply inspired by the history of the Huastec people, especially the history of slavery in the Huastec region. The subject matter came to the artist by visions and dreams that he had, which he linked to the slavery of his ancestors. In general, Martinez's work focuses on the symbolic experience of rebuilding his family history, using dreams as a tool to pass down knowledge across generations. For him, dreams connect the living with those who have passed, whose influence continues to guide us, and any ambiguity found in his dreams is clarified through historical research. These hanging sculptures represent the amount of people that can go into a boat. So by hanging them, they've been turned from human to a commodity and have lost all sense of humanity. The 4 large format paintings that we see here are inspired by reoccurring dreams that Martínez has, where he, quote, kept seeing himself tied up or in a cramped space with other bodies, which of course is Martínez dreaming about slavery, specifically slavery that his people experienced. By mentally reliving history, it's a way for Martínez to not only demand accountability, but to heal. So these small portraits on the wall, which Martínez refers to as the heart of the show, are meant to be family photographs from the mid-20th century, and they're sourced from either actual photographs or dreams. So through this meditative process of creating each of these small works and focusing on his ancestors' features, he's honoring their presence and fortifying their memory, saving them from erasure within history. So he's adorned each of his ancestors' faces with tattoos that were common among the Huastic people. And in addition to the portraits, there are works inspired by archaeological remains that represent the bodies of individuals not photographed. And this is his way of giving an image to a piece of history that's invisible. These are more than just sculptures. They are reproductions of irons used to brand slaves, and there are 20 because they represent the body, so 20 fingers and toes and 20 joints. And this is because the body is what holds memory of that moment. In the third floor gallery space is another show by the artist Circe Irasema titled Cosmic Painting, and it explores themes of impermanence, materiality, and identity through the unconventional use of makeup as a medium. Drawing inspiration from cabinets of curiosities, Irasema invites us as viewers into a visually rich space that blends reflections on color theory, art history, and the involving role of femininity in artistic creation. By using affordable, locally sourced eyeshadows and powders, the artist is challenging traditional art materials and highlighting the intersection of gender, class, and consumer culture. Her works reference iconic paintings, cosmological themes, and even craft traditions like Navajo sand paintings and mimbre ceramics. Overall, I love how her thoughtful blending of materials and themes makes the show both visually appealing but also conceptually rich. So, by transforming makeup, which is a product often tied to feminine beauty standards, into a powerful artistic tool, she's challenging viewers to reflect on identity, representation, and the enduring influence of artistic tradition. We're now heading over to the Museo Jumex, which is a beautiful contemporary art museum right across the street from the Museo Sumaya. You can see this little spaceship building right there. That's the Museo Sumaya. And that is a museum featuring more traditional art. So I think they actually hold one of the largest collections of Rodin, for example. And it is all art from Carlos Slim's collection. The Museo Jumex was founded by Eugenio Lopez Alonso in 2013, and it was designed by the British architect David Chipperfield, who you also may know from other famous projects like the Turner Contemporary. And it's this beautiful building that is created from white travertine stone sourced from Mexico. This exhibit is titled Politécnico Nacional, and it's curated by Brian E. Fair, and it features around 300 works, including sculptures, installations, photographs, drawings, paintings, assemblages, and games. And it's really showcasing the breadth of Gabriel Orozco's artistic practice. So this exhibition is organized thematically, reflecting Orozco's exploration of concepts such as rotation, symmetry, and the materialization of time. I will try to point out significant series as I come across them. This work is called La DS, and it is from 1993, and it is a modified car. So it has been narrowed by removing the central section, transforming the sleek symbol of modern design into this surreal, impractical object. So through this intervention, Orozco is challenging ideas of functionality, perception, and the aesthetics of consumer culture, turning an everyday object into a commentary on form and meaning. This work is a part of his series that overlays geometric patterns onto found images, blending elements of popular culture with formal abstraction. So, by combining organic human motion with this rigid geometry, Orozco is exploring themes of order versus disorder, control versus spontaneity, and the relationship between artificial systems and real life moments. I love that if you look at this work up close, you will realize that it's actually dryer lint. This is a work titled Dark Wave that Orozco made in 2006, the same year he created a similar work which hangs in the Biblioteca Vasconcelos in Mexico City. Outside, we see examples from Orozco's Pelota or Ball series, which reflects his fascination with everyday objects, chance encounters, and the interplay between nature, culture, and human interaction. And that's all for this video and for this trip to Mexico City. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me, and we are going to end it with a celebratory dinner at Puyo. And I will see you all in my next video.